What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another live watch along. Now, apologies that we haven't made a stream or any sort of video in the last couple of days. That is because we have both gone back to our sixth form, so we've been catching up with some work. So instead of doing the podcast, we thought we'd try and incorporate it in this stream as much as we could. I know it's kind of like a podcast anyway, but we'll talk about stuff along the way. But today's game, as you can see by the title, is Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid. Chelsea are currently 1-0 up in aggregate, which is an away goal, I believe. Now, it's not like the safest of the leads because all Atletico need to do is score once and then the game's even. But if Chelsea keep a clean sheet, they're through. Obviously, because my team isn't concerned by the Champions League whatsoever. Like, I just want to see goals. I don't care who goes through. I want to see goals. So if
Yeah, I want
Atletico
to
goes,
entertain them.
yeah. So the lineups are Mendy in goal, back three of Rudiger, Zuma, Azpilicueta, wing backs Marcos Alonso and Reece James in the midfield. We've got KK. Unfortunately, there's not another letter there. There's Kante with Kovacic.
You can't say
I
that.
didn't say it. You
Yeah, but you implied it.
Havertz and Ziyech and then Werner, and then for Atletico Madrid, Oblak, Jimenez, Savic, Renan Lodi, Trippier, Lorente, Koke, Niguez, I don't know his first name, Carrasco, Suarez, and João Felix up front. Oof, it's a big game. Obviously,
Strong side.
there's another game going on, Bayern against Lazio, but Bayern are 4-1 up, and I believe those 4 away goals. So that game's pretty much
Yeah,
gonna.
we'll keep you up to date of Bayern probably going to win 6 or 7-0 tonight. Serge Gnabry is probably going to have a field day as well as Lewandowski.
Gnabry.
So two strong, very strong teams. You see, Tuchel's gone with like what we've seen going within the Premier League, which is the five at the back. Marcos Alonso comes back into the squad instead of Ben Chilwell. Reece James provides that strength and that pace. So I'm really just going to expect Chelsea just to sit back and realistically defend with what you could say is 7 and attack with 5.
Yeah, because like that, their midfield two are like quite defensive or defensive
Yeah.
minded.
Well, one's a proper CDM in Kante, and the other one's a box to box in Kovacic. But for me, like you've got enough attacking ability in Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, and then Marcus Alonso and Reece James. Like you don't need to push Kante and Kovacic forward at all, especially when you're going in 1-0 up.
Yeah, yeah. I think obviously Tuchel has like massively improved Chelsea's like defending recently. They're not conceding many
Yeah,
goals, and
well,
if
they
they do,
conceded what
yeah, if they like they don't,
twice. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure since
yeah, like
Tuchel started.
yeah, like they don't score many goals. They often only score once or twice, but they barely concede any. And as the Atletico are predominantly a very defensive style team, they're gonna have to probably come out of their shell a little bit here and go for it because
Yeah, they have to go
yeah,
for it. Like, who I think we're just gonna see a very defensive masterclass from Tuchel, which is perfect of what he's doing. And obviously, like Tuchel's been in this competition every single year
yeah,
for how many years? Like, and he hasn't done obviously the greatest with PSG, but he's still done very well. Obviously, made it to the final last year. But when you think of like Suarez and João Felix, and I know like João Felix, like I still think he's a bit overrated and very overpriced, but him and Luis Suarez, like, there's a reason why Atletico are at the top of the but of the La Liga for a reason. Like these two can score goals,
yeah.
and Lorente very attacking player, Carrasco very attacking player, but Koke is a very attacking player. So it's going to be a very end-to-end game, I think, and it's going to be very back and forth, and it should be an entertaining one. I hope it is. I hope it's an entertaining game.
Yeah, I want to like just watch an entertaining game because obviously losing to Arsenal means you can't go on like social media for a good couple of days. So I just want to get back in
Yeah,
the
I'll work
back in
for
the
it to
swing.
be. We are 5 minutes away from kickoff. 5 minutes away from kickoff.
What's your
Well,
score
why this?
predictions?
Why? Oh, I'm gonna go with. It's actually a very I really want Atletico to win because I just don't like Chelsea.
Yeah,
So I
same.
really do want Atletico to win. I'm gonna say they don't. They just don't concede though. They just like Chelsea team. They don't concede. I've seen Mendy make a few mistakes. Like they do make defensive errors. They make defensive mistakes. Mendy especially makes errors. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-1 Atletico Madrid.
So 2-2 in aggregate, and then Atletico go through.
On the way goals. Yeah.
I can't really see Chelsea going out because like I think Tuchel just
Yeah,
has this sort of aroma
yeah,
around
same.
him
I
where like
agree.
you can't really see him going out. So I'm gonna go. I'll go. I don't know. I can't see Atletico not scoring in both legs, so I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1, and then Chelsea go through. Yeah, Mason Mount is in the stands injured. Pretty big miss to be honest, because he was probably their best player. Obviously Giroud scored that amazing goal, but he was probably their best player. Which I think we were meant to do a live watch along for that game, but because with YouTube you have to activate your account to be live streaming 24 hours prior, so we couldn't do that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I'm stupid.
the players are coming out now.
Guys, yeah. By the way, I'm taking my COVID test now, so.
Yeah, I've already done mine.
See me gagging around 5 minutes. Don't question. Oh, yeah. I need to. Oh my god.
I almost cried earlier because I was doing it. Both my eyes started watering, and it's just like, ugh.
Oh no. I actually don't mind getting it done. Like,
yeah, it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just like, you know.
In my desk. Oh, any other football news before the game kicks off? Realistically, well,
I don't really know.
Tomorrow's obviously the big one. Tomorrow's the big one, Europa League. Man United versus AC Milan. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic is
fit.
back for that game.
Oh, that's gonna be
He is back and is fit. A big game, a big win for United. They basically going into that game 1-0 down.
Yeah, they actually are.
Because he did an away goal, so
it's such a shame because that goal by Diallo was such a good goal. Like that backwards, like flick header. Such a shame.
Yeah, I mean it's annoying, but how football works. If it was just a mistake from us, and we need to capitalize on them tomorrow. But I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, we've got a
speaking
second
of
leg
United,
against Dynamo.
Pardon?
We've got our second leg against Dynamo, which I can't see us losing because I watched the press conference.
Oh, no, you're already 2-0 anyway.
Mourinho says that apparently he's going to start Kane, which I think is a bit overkill. But
I don't think you need to be honest.
Yeah.
Where are my waistband? Apologies, guys. I'm trying to find my bag for waistband. Well, I mean, speaking of United, there is a massive rumor right now that Donny van der Beek wants to leave the club, which
I'm not surprised. Don't blame him.
For me, I don't blame him as well. Just for me, it's very sad to see you, man. I think he's a top quality player, but you got to realize that when you're behind Bruno Fernandes, who's the best player, who's arguably the best player in the league, you're not gonna get game time.
He doesn't like. I don't think he's like out and out like an attacking.
He's not a 6. He's not an 8. Like he could play a number 8, and he is better than let's be honest, he's better than Fred McTominay. The reason why maybe he doesn't have that partnership in the dressing room, I don't know. Obviously, we don't get to see behind the scenes, but he's got to play. But when you think of when he played for Ajax, he was realistically a number 10, and when you think of it, just you can't be a number 10 against Bruno Fernandes because you're never going to get into the team.
I'd like to see him in a Tottenham shirt because I think we were heavily linked to him before he signed for United. So I don't really think he's the sort of player we need. Like we need a defense, like a more like out and out defensive midfielder who can just sit in front of the centre backs. And then I guess we are kind of looking.
Ndombele's good enough for you guys.
No, he's not really a defensive. He's like a box to box, but more attacking.
Yeah, he's an 8. Yeah.
And then Højbjerg's good enough for us, but we need backup because if Højbjerg gets injured for like a couple of weeks, then we've had it. Right, teams are walking out on the pitch right now. Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, just like going back to Donny van der Beek a sec. Like you signed for United, and did you sign him in the summer? Was it summer or January?
No, summer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we signed him, and then he's played less minutes than Van Dijk in the league, which come on, let's be honest. Van Dijk's been injured since what, like game week 5 or
Yeah.
6 or something like that.
But
So
it's such a shame because when
to
he's
not
actually
get
played, what I
game
think
time,
wasn't it him who played in that win against PSG?
yeah.
It's because
Well, this is the thing. Every time he has played, he's been absolute quality. Like when
he
he comes
scored on his debut.
on, whether that's off the bench. Yeah,
Scored
no, he like he shows promising signs, and when he's on the pitch, he's probably the best player on the pitch at the time. So he wants to play in that United shirt, I think, and I do think he loves playing for the club. I think him, maybe, and his agent just want more game time, which it makes sense. But for me, you just gotta realize that you're behind Bruno Fernandes. Like that's the big thing. When you're behind Bruno Fernandes, you've not got a chance.
righty, alrighty.
Kieran Trippier. What do you say? Kieran Trippier gets into the England team or not?
I think he gets into the squad because he's a good player, but I don't. He doesn't start over. If we're talking right back, he doesn't start over Kyle Walker or who are there like or Wan-Bissaka if he was to get into it. I don't think he starts or Reece James. But
Yeah.
like I know he's not predominantly a left back, but I think he could play left back. He's good enough because obviously he's not getting over Luke Shaw, but I think if he's a good squad player. Obviously, he scored that
Is he getting
free kick.
over Ben Chilwell at left back?
Honestly, I'd say yeah, because I've said it multiple times. I don't personally rate Chilwell that much. I think he's a bang average player, but because he's English and like has a high price tag, it's people have forced this narrative that he's one of the best left backs in the league. But I haven't seen
Yeah.
it from him so far. Like I know Leicester fans were like very happy that they got 50 mil for him. I would, to be honest. I don't think he's worth even half that, to be honest. But yeah.
Apologies, I had to go get some. I had to go get hand sanitizer.
Marcos
Well, no, this
Llorente.
like there's so many talents in England right now. It's very hard to
Yeah.
obviously we've done a whole series on picking our England team for the Euros, but there's so many talents, and we didn't even look at like the likes of like Aaron Cresswell or someone
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, who's
For the
like
first time in a very long
he's been
time,
insane this
we have
season.
class players in every position.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Well,
you're right.
except
Yeah,
maybe centre
all that
back. We have
Burns.
one very good centre back, but not really like another good one. I know like Maguire and Stones is like the two that most people will go with, but like there's no like two amazing.
But I think they are like they are going to be
I do
like
think
the
Maguire's
two.
a good centre
Well,
back.
and
It's
like
just like you know,
oh, so do I. Yeah,
he's been really good recently. Like
I
he was
know.
very good against Man
Look,
City.
this is it. He's good. He's just like he's overpriced. But when you think of he's an English centre back, and he also plays for Leicester, who love money, who love getting money off
Right,
of us.
kick off.
So
Here we go.
it doesn't surprise me.
Like if you ignore his
Why?
price tag, which I know is very hard to do, if you look at his performances, if you use the eye
Yeah,
test, like he'll have say 10 if he
he
plays
does
10
make some
games,
mistakes though.
he'll have like 8 solid ones, one like dodgy one, and then one game where he's just absolutely horrendous. But
Mm. By the way, I'm about to do my COVID test. Like so.
yeah, we get close up here.
Uh huh. Boom. No
Are we
gagging.
allowed
You
to
had
show
no
this,
gagging.
or is it like too graphic? No, it's not, is it?
Nah, bro. There's some mad stuff on YouTube. Like, oh, look, Logan Paul filmed a dead person. Like, come on. There are people that do like ASMR on this stuff. So
ASMR
fine.
getting a oh chance for Atletico here. Oh, didn't get the shot off early enough. Oh, it's shaky started from
No, no,
Chelsea.
no.
They've already given away 2 chances. Werner's through here. Oh, he's gone through him. That's a very good play from Werner. That's gone out, surely. Yeah, it's gone out. Oh, I can hear my
Nice.
echo, by the way.
Oh shit. Sorry. What about now? You good now?
Oh, hello. Yeah, that's fine.
Wait.
Did that go out?
No, no, no,
Yeah, that's out. That's out. Well, I don't know actually. I know that went out. Yeah. I've still yet to see a game
Oh,
where Werner actually played well. I mean, it's very rare that I watch
he,
Chelsea, but
like he hasn't had that dominating performance that we know he can have.
yeah, he hasn't had that
Like
like
at
stand-up
like
performance, which backs his price tag.
yeah. But like, I still think we have a lot to see from Werner, like,
Yeah, like
and
he's still
Havertz.
young.
A lot of that
He's still
Chelsea
like
team.
what 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah, no, he's a young striker. He's very fast. I'm not saying he's gonna be like up there with the greats. I don't think he will, but he's a quality striker. And it's a great
Oh,
buy.
that's great
But
from João Felix.
apparently,
Oh,
apparently, Chelsea want to do a cheeky swap deal with Dortmund to get Haaland. So they want to swap Werner for Haaland.
do you know that's not
Chelsea,
for both sides. That's not a bad deal because I think because obviously Werner's already played in the Bundesliga, so you know has that track record of scoring goals. So it's not like obviously it's a massive downgrade from Haaland, but at least you're getting a striker who's proven in the past who has scored goals. It's a decent starter from Atletico. They've already
like,
had a couple chances. Only 3 minutes in.
coronavirus test. He's done. Yeah, no, I think it's a terrible move from both Chelsea and for realistically all three parties in Chelsea, Werner and Dortmund, and Haaland, so four parties because you don't spend what was it, 70 something million
Yeah.
on Werner for him to sell, for him to be sold the next season just because he hasn't had the time because he hasn't had the time to adjust it to the Premier League. I think we all expect now these international players to come in and get the ground running because we saw Bruno Fernandes done it, and we saw with even the likes of Thiago, who was arguably the best midfielder in the world at a point where he came to Liverpool. Like he hasn't settled in. Yes, he's had great games here and there, but he hasn't had the impact that you expect
Now,
him to make.
I'm
And
still
neither
yet
has
to watch Thiago for Liverpool and actually him impress me because
yeah,
I've watched him play and he just like he's done nothing. Like I know he's like not that sort of midfielder who gets like numbers, but he saw 0 goals, 0 assists for Liverpool. And I
yeah,
just
no,
look at
it's
him
really
and I feel like he must be a factor in that sort of decline because the second he signs for them and he plays, the Liverpool just got worse. Like there's got to be something up with that. I don't think it
I
suits their
think
play.
there's a bit there's I think there's more than just Thiago to why
Yeah, yeah, obviously,
Liverpool
but I just don't think
but
he like
I've seen
helps it.
Thiago make some great passes. Like he's an excellent passer. I just don't think he has the like. Let's face it, Liverpool's team is nowhere near Bayern Munich's team.
Yeah,
Like in terms of like the way they pass, and I think Jurgen Klopp expects Thiago just to be like him and Henderson are just gonna like sit there and just provide for the width. I think that's the whole purpose of Thiago. And
yeah,
when
they're
you watch
two players
Thiago
who
for
have a very good
Bayern,
passing range.
yeah, but when you watch Thiago for Bayern, he's not just going to the width. He's playing balls over the top. He plays ball backwards. He's just a passer, and he just passes so well. With Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool system, it's literally get it to the fullbacks and let them push it. Don't try something fancy. Don't try playing an over top ball for
Oh, yeah,
Firmino,
I guess
who's
that's
making
why
a run
like
in
he
between
hasn't
the
got many
defense.
stats because his main job is just like getting good balls out wide to Trent and Robertson. But as we all know, like their whole
Yeah.
tactic of just getting crosses into the box isn't working when you've got players who are like not a single player above 6 foot in the box. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, like, also a lot of teams are like finding out how Liverpool play
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the reasons for like their mishaps. Like, obviously, Van Dijk's a big one, but even with a fully strengthened front three, they just can't score. So, and
you
people are
could
like
argue
they're not
Liverpool are
entitled
probably
to
one of the
defend half
easiest
of the
players to
Champions
play,
League.
the easiest teams to play against right now because even like the smaller teams
Yeah,
like Burnley, Fulham seem to have like know what they're all about now. So obviously they did beat Wolves the other day, so it could be a different story now. But as it stands, they still lost how many games in a row at home? 6, 7? Like,
Six.
yeah.
Six.
So
Yes, it's bad. Oh, well, yeah, I was talking about how we expect players just to get going from the start, and when you look at like Thiago, as we just mentioned, and then even if like Ziyech, Werner, Havertz, we haven't seen any of them really live up to the potential that we've seen them to do in their like own leagues back
I
at
think
home. So
Ziyech had like a very good first 2 games, and then since then he's been non-existent.
yeah, well, he's playing tonight, so hopefully we can see something from him tonight. But I just think we need to stop this whole thing of get like once you join the Prem, if you're a top quality player, don't expect them just to join the Prem and get going straight away. Like there are exceptions, like what Bruno Fernandes does. No one like there's not going to be another player realistically that could do that because Bruno like when Bruno Fernandes came to United, he like on paper you could say he's not better than Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, any of these guys. Like he's just
Yeah, he
kid
played in
from
the
school.
Portuguese league, which is like not on
Yeah,
the
he's
same
just this
standard.
kid from school. But no, and he's obviously like what he's done with United over the past year and a bit is incredible, and he's now kind of set the bar of you're an international player, especially from a higher league. Like the Portuguese league is awful compared to the likes of Eredivisie or Bundesliga or something like that. You just have to go at 150 miles per hour every single game for a very long time, and players struggle with it. And I think maybe next season or the season after, we're going to see the likes of Chelsea's team actually be a title contending team where they should be.
One thing I
Yeah, I
did
think it's
notice is that like Portuguese players above all else seem to adapt in the Prem like very easily. Because like there's Bruno obviously. You also got Ronaldo who like set the game like as soon as he joined. You could like say Ruben Diaz as well. Like this the instant he joined,
yes.
been phenomenal. Can't think of any other Portuguese off the top of my head. I mean Jota already played in the Prem, but like he's still like. I mean, I don't really know the philosophy around Portuguese football, but I guess it could have some sort of
Yeah.
resemblance with English football.
But yeah, it must do because like even when you go back in the days of Ronaldo, who was playing in a much harder league than it is now when he's joining at the age of 17 and playing for the biggest club at the time, it's like obviously what Ronaldo's gone on to do now. And I guess we could talk a little bit about Ronaldo a bit later because I got a topic about that. But he's just like what he done at 17 was incredible, and he like Ruben Diaz as well. Just he's made Man City what it is today. So yeah, like
Yeah, Ruben Diaz is like
there
ever
must be
since City
something.
lost company, they've like just lost that all chance for Chelsea here. That's a great pass. Oh, why would you shoot that Marcos Alonso? You pleb.
Yes, your boy is negative. Nice work.
It says you have to wait like 30 minutes to an hour, but literally the line appears within like 5 seconds.
Yeah, the lines appears in like 10 minutes. Um, I had this topic about Cristiano Ronaldo, and I saw it from the kickoff. So
What
shout out
did he
to
flop at
True
Juventus?
Jordan and all the guys. Yeah, I was wondering like I want to hear your opinion about this, and then I'll share
Well,
mine. So
if we're looking at like the textbook definition of a flop, like I mean, what would you say a flop is? Like, not living up to the expectations, like consistently playing
not living
poorly.
up to the expectations of why you got brought to the club.
Well, I guess if you're looking at it that way, you could argue that it was a flop because let's be honest, like Juventus wanted to sign Ronaldo for one reason and one reason only, to win the Champions League, which at the time
Mm.
seemed very, very like tangible
Yeah, because
because they
didn't they
signed him on.
get to the final? Didn't they get to the
Yeah,
final
yeah,
versus Real Madrid
they get to the
the
final
year
and
before they signed him? Yeah.
yeah, and then Ronaldo absolutely bullied them. And then obviously when he signed for them, that was off the back of Ronaldo winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row. And as I've mentioned many times
Yeah.
before, that like 3 season Ronaldo, I've never seen a player play better in those 3 seasons. Like in a period of time, he was absolutely like immense. So obviously he was younger then, but signing Ronaldo is just a massive like not even like just like a footballing sense, just a massive mental boost because he's probably no, it's not probably. He's the best player in Champions League history. He holds literally every record there
Yeah.
is. Most goals, most games, most hat tricks, most winners' medals, most wins for different teams, I think, as well.
Incredible.
So yeah, obviously signing Ronaldo. Obviously, um, you probably know our opinion on the Italian league. It's not as intense as everywhere else, which is why Italian teams don't
It's very flat and
yeah,
slow
they,
and
they don't really seem to cope with like the more intense teams, especially like a prime Real Madrid. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a flop because he's like his goal scoring record in general is like unreal. Like, and it's just like his stats in general are very good. But for the pure reason why they
Yeah.
signed him, you kind of have you can't really. I'm not gonna say the word flop. I'm just gonna say like what other word is it for?
Underachieved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because let's be real, the only things he's won there, like is Syria, isn't that much of an achievement because Juventus have won it for as long as I can remember, and which is funny because they're
Last
not even
8
going to win it
years.
this year. But
They're
yeah,
10 points behind.
yeah. So I guess like he is a
And then
disappointment. Yeah,
he wins the Syria or whatever, like their like RFA, like whatever their FA Cup is.
yeah, like
He wins that,
the
I'm pretty
domestic
sure.
cup, the main one.
Yeah. And is this well? Where do you think he goes next? Because he's not going to end his career at Juve. So
No.
where's the next place
I
for
did
him? Is
hear a
it
lot of rumors saying that
is it back home? Is it?
he's going back to Real Madrid. I did hear honestly I can see that happening.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor as well. So
I can
like
see it
you're not
happening,
lying.
but
I think he should come back home.
I
Not to
think
Sporting,
it's
back to
yeah
United.
he should come back to United. That'd be such a good thing. Like this is the best United have been in a while in terms of
Him,
like
Bruno Fernandes. Oh,
yeah.
mate. Imagine Ronaldo getting supplied by Bruno Fernandes.
No, but taking
Who
pens?
takes free
Who
kicks?
takes
Who
pens?
takes free kicks?
No, you got to
Uh,
put Ronaldo on pens. There's no way. Like,
I
but they'll
think
probably just do the
Bruno's actually a more. I think Bruno's a more accurate free kick taker.
yeah. But I wouldn't. The thing is, Ronaldo, like, he's one of those players that whenever he has a free kick, he always goes for like the knockable, like, swerve technique, which is like
He
high risk,
goes
high
for the
reward.
headlines. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
like
wants to be in the
he'll
headlines.
score one in say 50. Like he'll score one, and then the other 49 will go out of the stadium. But that one that goes in, because I remember in the World Cup, against Spain, he scored that hat trick, where that brilliant
Oh,
hat trick,
incredible!
and he like the free
That
kick
was
he
like
scored.
35 yards out.
Yeah, like it wasn't. It was sort of like more cliche, sort of like bend it like Beckham style free kick. Which I think, honestly, if he did more, he'd score a lot more free kicks. But obviously, he does go for like the more flashy like headline style.
Yeah,
But honestly, I think
I
it'd be
really
good for him
want to see
to
him
come
at
back to
United.
United. I think it would be good. Did he
Yeah,
ever play with
like
Solskjaer, or was that before his time?
no, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did. Ronaldo was there from no, yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
that
must
was
have done.
just after. Because I think he did, but I don't remember. Like, it was probably this thing of Ronaldo would get subbed off for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Not they. I don't think they would be on the same pitch at the same time.
Yeah, but they've probably shared the same dressing room, which I guess you could like.
Yeah, definitely. It's not even that. It's just the fact that Ronaldo has obviously strong links with all the fans. We kind of built his career, you could say. Bruno Fernandes, obviously the international links there. Even like the likes of David De Gea, who's
Yeah,
he's still gonna probably have links to. Um, he would get like he'll suit the club as normal. We expect him just, but the thing is of do we go for like signing a 36-year-old who's got what 4 more years in him? Like maybe a little bit more. I don't know how long
who knows
Ronaldo's been
Ronaldo?
playing
Because
football.
although he's not playing as well as he did like in the past, he's still like performing at a
But
very
it's
high
still
level. Yeah,
Ronaldo.
like Ronaldo's Ronaldo.
Yeah. So like, if he's playing for like 4 more, let's say he plays until he's 40, so 4 more years. Um, 4 years in the Premier League with Man United, we would expect him to basically not carry us, but definitely we would be
Like Ronaldo
favourites
signing
for
if
win the
he was
title.
to sign for you tomorrow and then he plays for United until he's 40, you'd expect like them to win the league
At least the
because
Champions League and Premier League.
yeah,
At least. Which we could definitely do. We're missing that fire up front. Like Edison Cavani, I think he might be leaving in the summer.
yeah, it's only a 1 year
Personally,
contract,
I
isn't
don't
it?
think that. Yeah, no, there's a lot going on. But personally, I don't think Martial is I don't think he's an out and out striker. Still, I don't think he's good enough for
He's not number 9, is he?
being the main man at United. Yeah, and I was actually going to say, do we bring in a Ronaldo who's 36 years old, or do we bring in Haaland who's 20 years old? Is probably going to be not as good as Ronaldo, but definitely up there with Ronaldo when it comes down to like the end of his career. And that's 10, 15 years with Haaland, and he could definitely do what Ronaldo like right now. Probably Haaland is better than Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Like
100%. Oh, Joe Pitt.
that's going
Oh,
right now.
last one.
I think like either of them signings for United. I'm not saying either of them are going to happen. I would love one of them to happen, and I think Haaland could potentially be seeing his way into a red shirt in either this summer or next summer. But if we were to go, or if anyone were to go and sign either Haaland or Ronaldo, you expect them to win the league. Like that's just how the players are now. You expect one player to come in and change your entire team.
Well, what do you think for Messi then? Like we've talked a bit about Ronaldo and his like the rest of his career. What do you think's gonna go on with Messi?
PSG or Man City. Like,
Yeah.
well, I really want. I heard Brian and Loz and the rest of the kickoff guys talk about this as well. I really want, like,
Oh, chance for
as a
Chelsea.
football
Oh,
fan, I would love PSG to sell Mbappe. I don't care where Mbappe goes, sell Mbappe and buy Ronaldo and Messi,
yeah,
just
that
so
would
we
be
could
so
see
good.
Ronaldo, Messi, and Neymar play together. Um,
Probably the 3 best players of like this decade.
yeah, of all time, just or like maybe not of all time, but definitely two of them are definitely the best players of all time. You can make a case for Neymar, but I would love seeing them three all play together. But I don't think that's ever
The
going to
the
happen.
money though, like you got to cover both of their wage. I know like the shirt numbers will go unbelievable when you have Messi and Ronaldo,
Yeah,
two like
I mean,
Goliath
yeah, I would
in
definitely buy both of them
yeah,
shirts.
yeah, same.
Like,
But like I think Messi's contract is like unfathomable. Like Ronaldo, obviously,
yeah, it gets higher and higher every single year, which is
yeah.
crazy because he's not like. Let's be honest, he's not getting better and better every single year.
Well,
Like,
like
neither's Ronaldo, but
for me,
they just
like
hold us.
I want to talk a bit about like Messi versus Ronaldo. For me, I feel like in terms of being like a footballer, like in the just pure ability, I think Messi's always been better. But like
Ability wise, yeah, but
in terms of like
Ronaldo's so much more hardworking and
being a
everything else.
man and
He's
being
more
like an
skilled.
athlete, you got to say Ronaldo because like he's probably got the most healthy body in the world. He's
Yeah,
most likely going to play until he's 40. Messi could possibly play
probably
until he's
got
40,
what,
but he
maybe
wouldn't
one
be
or
any.
two.
Yeah, like his body's
Yeah.
definitely like suffering, not suffering, but like just like he's lost his legs now, nowhere near as fast as he used to be.
No, yeah, he's lost like we can't expect Messi to go do a run through like 10
Yeah,
players like
yeah,
he would when he was like 20 something.
yeah. Because when he was like
Um,
19, he literally like his pace is unreal. But like right now he like set piece wise, he's still like got in his locker. Like, but like his like whole dynamic what's like the dynamism is that a word? Dynamism?
I have no clue, bro. I have
Like
no clue.
like because before he's a very dynamic player, but now like he's lost that a bit. Like he can't.
Yes, I feel like with Messi, I think Messi is definitely a more naturally gifted
Yeah,
footballer and naturally better footballer than Ronaldo. Just for me, what like the reason why I would always choose Ronaldo over Messi is not because I'm a United fan. Obviously, that plays a part into it. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but Ronaldo's done it in the Premier League, the La Liga, and the Serie A, and has won multiple trophies. In all three leagues, and that's something that I haven't seen Messi do, and we're never realistically going to see
yeah.
Messi do it in three leagues. He might do it in two. If he's going to do it in three, probably not. Um,
No,
and
but the
also
thing
like
is, if Messi was to leave to say either PSG or Man City, it wouldn't be like the same because it's not like he's moved to a club and like played a massive part. Obviously, he might do, but you're going to two clubs that are just like manufactured and like they're not like organic, if that makes sense. They're just like
yeah, I know what you mean. Like um, I think like even if Messi, I feel like there's something about Ronaldo that it's like wow, it's Ronaldo. I don't like. It's hard to explain. I feel like there's this magical like fairy dust over Ronaldo that makes him like superhuman, and there's just not that with Messi.
I disagree. I think if you asked every single professional footballer like who's ever played, I think 99% of them will say Messi. Because from a football standpoint, like if you compare like the best ever version of Messi and the best ever version of Ronaldo, like like Ronaldo like is good, but like you never see Ronaldo run through an entire team and score like Messi that like clip of him running through every player and then going past the goalkeeper and scoring, like I can guarantee you'll never see that in like a professional high level game again because like
Yeah.
it's something special. For
Oh
me,
no,
for me,
it's
Ronaldo is like
insane.
the best version of like your cliche footballer. Like that's no disrespect, like, or saying he's bad, but he's just the best ever version of like a Hazard type player. It's hard to explain, but like just like your classic footballer who's like like he's just a very good version of it. But Messi's like in his old different class because like what other players have like been like Messi in the past? I mean like Maradona, but like yeah, it's such a
Nah,
unique
like
player.
even like Messi and Ronaldo are way better. Like in my opinion, they are way better than like Maradona, Pele, R9. Like these two are on different levels to anyone that we've ever seen touch a ball. And well, when you talk about Messi, like 100%, this guy, like when he's got the ball at his feet, he is magical. Like there's a reason why like magic suits this guy's name because he gets that ball and just 1 minute he's got five players in front of him. The next minute that ball is in the back of the net. We saw it against PSG last week of I think it was last week when we done the PSG Barcelona. But he just smacked one from like 30 yards and it's gone top bins. Like yes, you see that with Ronaldo, and I can 100% agree with you that Messi is definitely the better natural footballer. I just think that Ronaldo's put in a lot more hard work. He's came from, in my opinion, a much tougher background, which plays a lot, and he's done it in multiple leagues. Like, could Messi do what like now? Because he can't now. We can't like judge it off if Messi was like 23, 24, where he was in his prime or something. Like, obviously, he could do what he done in La Liga in the Prem. But now, if Messi went to a club like maybe not Man City, because I feel like that's kind of cheat coding it in the fact that you're already in the best team. But let's say he went to, I don't know, like, I don't want to say Arsenal, but like, let's say he went to Tottenham. Let's say he went to Tottenham, a team
Oh
that
my
should,
god.
like, realistically they can battle for top, like, for maybe challenge for a title if they have one or two more, like, big players. So say Messi gone there, could you see the same thing of what Ronaldo did when he was in the Prem? Bear in mind, it was a lot harder league. I don't think so. But I still think both of these guys, like, that Ronaldo Messi
Oh,
debate is never solved. Yeah, it's never going to be solved. Just
the, the one
it's your opinion at the end.
the one thing I will say in regards to like the whole argument that Ronaldo's done it in multiple leagues was because like the majority of both their career, the league was the by far the best league in the world. Because like say like
Yeah,
2015 and those sort of years, like the league was by far the best because you had Real Madrid at the peak of its powers. You were not prime Barcelona, but you still had like the Suarez, Iniesta, maybe the latter stage of Xavi. That's those sort of players. So like they both played in the best league in the world. Obviously, now like neither of them
mm,
play in the Prem, which is the best league right now in my opinion. But I think
yeah.
it is. For me, I'll always just see like as a like a technical perspective, Messi, but as like a brand or just as if you're like if you've like never watched football before and you just Google search football, for example, you're more likely to run into Ronaldo because
Ronaldo
he's
will pop
yeah,
up.
because he's the person you want to like advertise to like it's hard to explain. He's got more like
Ronaldo's your perfect all-round footballer.
yeah,
Messi is probably your best technical. Like when it comes down to like the techniques and
yeah.
how he probably sees the game, he's probably the best ever.
As just a celebrity who happens to also play football, Ronaldo's that person, but as just a footballer.
But I think that's a bit harsh on Ronaldo. Like
I'm not.
I still
Let me
like
rephrase that. Just I think he's more of like a celebrity.
nah, he's so much more of a footballer than a celebrity. Like he's just a lot more brandable than Messi. I mean, like you don't see Messi brandable. And maybe that's because Messi only speaks Spanish, but
Yeah, yeah.
you're
I
gonna
think
see.
that's actually a really good point to make up because let's be real. If you speak English, that will like almost
Yeah,
double
Ronaldo
it.
speaks English, Spanish, and he speaks English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's
I
definitely
think
more brandable. And
yeah,
even their individual brands, like
yeah. Like
even their individual brands, like Ronaldo's brand, it's like CR7 is so much bigger than Messi than M10. Like I feel like if you go for more like I get what you mean by the celebrity, like you mean someone who's a little bit more brandable and someone who like if you Google if you like everyone knows who obviously both of these guys are, but I feel like if you go to people who don't watch football at all and you still tell them Ronaldo, they would still actually have an insight of who Ronaldo is. But if you say like if you tell someone Lionel Messi, I don't think
yeah.
people who don't watch football would know who that is. But I still think you say Ronaldo, they would.
But let's use me as an example. Like I know nothing about NFL. Like, and the one NFL
Yeah,
player that I do know is Tom Brady. Is that it? Now
yeah,
you could
Tom
argue
Brady.
that like Tom Brady is your Ronaldo. Maybe not. Like there's probably some other NFL player who I've never ever heard of, who like the NFL hardcore fans
I
are.
mean, no, Tom Brady is your mix of like Ronaldo. Like I know a little bit about NFL, but Tom Brady is your mix of Ronaldo and Messi. Like he's the best technically wise, and he's one of the most brandable players. The only person that's probably more brandable than him that I've ever seen is Odell Beckham Jr., and that's because of his amazing one hand catch. Other than that, like Tom Brady is that like he's your mix of Ronaldo and Messi. But like I 100% like I think everyone out there knows what you mean of Ronaldo's just more of a. But don't get me wrong, Ronaldo is still an incredible player, and I love him to bits, and I think he's better than Messi, but he's a lot more brandable than Messi is.
Yeah,
Well,
he's more. He's
technicality wise and technique
yeah.
wise, Messi is. I think that just shows from like stats. Obviously, Ronaldo's broke Pele's record a couple of days ago, but like when you look at, I believe it's free kick stats, despite free kick taking like you when you talk free kicks, you talk about Ronaldo, but Messi, I think Messi's actually scored more.
I
I
think
think
Messi's
Messi's
got the
more
most free kick
clinical
goals of
from
all time, or like the best conversion rate, or something like that.
yeah. But I like Messi, like don't get me wrong, Messi scores incredible free kicks, but it's the same thing of just that pure whippage around the wall.
Yeah,
And
like not like
obviously they are
if you take
incredible
Ronaldo's
goals. I'm
knuckleball
not saying
against
they are
Portsmouth,
not.
that's more iconic than any free kick Messi's ever scored.
Yeah.
Because that was like the first
Even
knuckleball that
his
ever
like we
scored.
said it earlier, the one he scored in the Euros, like like that is more memorable than any Messi free kick.
Yeah,
Just you never know what Messi's gonna do, and
because a lot of Messi's free kicks are just in La Liga against like teams that you don't really know.
yeah, I think like going back to like the free leagues thing. I know we don't want to drag out like this whole topic for a long time, because we could probably go on for ages. Of when Ronaldo was 17 and he left when he was 19. How long did he have in the Prem? He probably
I
have
think
longer
he
than that.
left when he
I'm
was around
sure.
23 because he's 35 now. He left in 2009, so that was
Okay, yeah,
12
yeah.
years ago. So yeah, around 23, I think.
Okay, yeah. So we had a good like 6 seasons there.
those 5, 6 seasons were probably the best seasons the Premier League have ever seen, and those were definitely the toughest Premier League seasons ever. And Ronaldo was one of the top, and at the youngest, he was doing what Haaland is doing in the Bundesliga, what Mbappe was doing in the French league, in the hardest league we've probably ever seen at the hardest period of time we've ever seen. And for me, like that makes him just incredible. Well, like obviously you could say he was in the best team around that era, but Ronaldo will just, for me, always remain the GOAT, and Messi will just always remain second unless I see Messi do it. Like if he goes Man City or if he goes PSG and absolutely kills that league, then I could maybe judge the fact that he is
Well,
potentially better.
regardless
But
of who's better out of the two, you just gotta agree that like you have your like if you have like a pyramid of like the best players of all time, you'll have like your Zidane's, Ronaldinho's, your I don't know, Cruyff, like the second tier, and then the tier above you'll have Messi, Ronaldo.
yeah, yeah, incredible.
Oh,
Two
Bayern
icons.
Munich have gone
Oh,
1-0 up. Robert
and
Lewandowski with
I'm not
another goal.
surprised.
What a surprise! Oh,
Yeah, just two absolute icons of the game, and I'm so proud. Like, I'm so happy I've grown up in time of seeing them at their peak and seeing them at their best. It's gonna be a sad day when they both retire. And I think they both have a slight competition with like themselves without knowing it. Of one of them had like they both want to retire a little bit later than
yeah,
the other
yeah,
one,
yeah. The sort of like
and I think like
yeah.
and Ronaldo's just in so much trouble. Like Ronaldo is physically in a better shape than most footballers right now at the age of 36. Like,
There was a big
I'm
chance
pretty sure
here for
he's got.
Chelsea. Ziyech
Uh,
1-0. Hakim Ziyech.
is it Hakim Ziyech? It's Hakim
Ziyech,
Ziyech. The
Ziyech,
person we
Ziyech,
were talking
whatever you
about,
want to see.
I was hoping to see something from him today.
Yeah,
Just shown up and delivered.
a pretty simple goal. It was a great pass from Werner. I don't know if he got a couple of deflections, but laid it, squared it to him. Very easy. Maybe you could argue Oblak could have done a bit better because he's hit it straight at him, but he's gone through his legs. But I think I could possibly be tie over
It is
because
that game over.
Atletico. I know if they score 2 goals, they go through an away goal, so it's not completely over yet. But yeah, they definitely need to score now. Oh, that's a very simple pass. And oh yeah, All Blacks definitely should save that. Is that straight at him?
That's poor considering a lot of people rumor him to be one of the best keepers in the world. In my opinion, he's never been the best keeper in the world.
He's never
Never
been
will
the
be.
best, but he's like the last couple of years he's definitely been top 3 with like Alisson, Neuer. For me, Neuer right now is the best keeper in the world. But
I still think Verstegen's better than him.
no, I haven't been like obviously I don't really watch Barcelona play that much, but I like
Well, Ter
I can't really make
Stegen
I
is
can't
the
really make
reason why Barcelona's not fully collapsed. Like the amount of shots this guy saves. Like Barcelona's defense is not good when they play like two youngsters in the back line, and Ter Stegen is like he's just a little bit worse of a version of a Neuer. Like that's the only reason why he has to get into that German team is because Neuer's in front of him. But yeah, no, Ter Stegen is insane.
I think the best
Ooh,
individual goalkeeping performance was De Gea against Arsenal. The one where he made like the world record amount of saves in the
13, he
game.
made 13
Yeah.
saves, yeah. Made 13 saves. That was a very good day for me, you know. That was a very good day because Arsenal destroyed us, and then I remember walking into school the next day and just laughing at every Arsenal fan because they destroyed us and we still won. That was an incredible day. Oh man, I think we let us know in the comments below who do you think is a better all-round footballer? Because I think everyone would say Messi's more technical player, but as an all-round footballer and just everything included in a footballer, who do you think is better? Who do you think of it? Let us know in the comments down below.
And I
Oh,
think
nice.
like how obviously I don't know anything about basketball either, but like how Michael Jordan is like probably the biggest athlete in the world like ever because like what he's like No,
No,
more,
Ronaldo is, but Jordan's up there. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but like,
Ronaldo definitely is.
is Michael Jordan in terms of like his actual like player ability? Would he be in conversation of the best ever basketball player, or is he
Yeah.
considered the GOAT just because of his like impact of like his old like MJ brand or like Space Jam or
No, no,
was
no.
it Space Jam?
He is like him and LeBron James are probably the two best ever players to touch a basketball. Um, what Michael Jordan done, no other basketballer would probably ever do that. He won 6 championships, which is very, very hard to do. And the fact that like his work ethic for me is second to none. Like this guy would film like when he was filming Space Jam, he would wake up, film Space Jam, then go to the gym and then probably have a game in the afternoon. He was crazy. Like there's the like if you want to learn a lot more about Michael Jordan, go watch The Last Dance on Netflix. Like it shows all like there is a reason why he is considered the GOAT of basketball and one of the goats of all sports. And he never wanted to sign for Nike. He never wanted to sign for Nike. He always liked Adidas. So I don't think obviously his like Jordans now are just more of a fashion brand. They're not under like they're its own brand, own fashion brand. But like he deserves everything he got. And he is definitely one of the best players to ever touch a basketball, apart from LeBron, because I love LeBron. LeBron is up there as well, but right now Michael Jordan, he is the GOAT of basketball, probably just all sports in general. Like there's the
Chance.
thing of
Oh,
just I'm going a little bit of a waffle here, but there are these just sportsmen that are just like at the top, and I'm talking about like Ronaldo, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods. I don't even know who else. Like there are so many
Roger
just
Federer,
top.
Floyd
Yeah,
Mayweather.
no, they're like yeah, like Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, like these guys are even Conor McGregor. These guys are like there are athletes, but then there are athletes, and these guys are like they are the reason why they are at the top of all of their sports, and they're like Michael Jordan. I could talk about years. I love what I've watched Last Dance 2 or 3 times now. Just there is a reason why he gets compared to LeBron and LeBron gets compared to him because if you watch LeBron, LeBron is physically he's much better shape than um, Michael Jordan. He plays like over 1 million each year just on his body. But Michael Jordan, if you like, he was this person of if you wasn't, he's like imagine how Roy Keane was like on a pitch. Michael Jordan was like that every single day in training and on the court. Like he would, if you were late, he would be there for you. Like if you were late, he would rip you. He was like Roy Keane every single minute you were on his team, like every single minute of the day. And then he done some shady stuff, and he played some baseball, but we don't talk about that because
Oh, Havertz
that
mocked
was
his
a
touch
big
there. That could
fall
have
of
been
his
two. That could
career.
have been
But
2-0.
that was a fall in his career when he went to go play baseball. We don't talk about that, but yeah, no, Michael Jordan
Baseball.
definitely goated, definitely goated. I think we're now moving into like this football thing and how it's kind of become more Americanized, if you know what I mean.
What like
Like
football's
it's
becoming
about
like what is becoming bigger in America, or it's like the whole sort of franchise is becoming more American.
yeah, it's more of like a franchise thing instead of a game. Like when growing up, this whole game was just about clubs going at it. They don't care how much money you got. Doesn't matter. It's just they don't care how much money you got, how much these players cost. It was literally just about you have 11 men, I have 11 men. These guys are going to go at it for 90 minutes. The best team's going to win. And now it's more about I'm going to sign this person because I'm going to get this many shirt sales for it. Like
Yeah, I
it's
think there's
becoming
a,
so
there's
much
a lot
more
more
of
off pitch sort of
a
like
business.
stuff going on.
Yeah, and then like even the way the like the project big picture, that is basically just around American themed of we could be seeing, and even the way they wanted to redo, I don't know if you heard about this, the way they wanted to redo how the Champions League structure was, of having it as
What
obviously a massive
that
like
European Super League?
table. No, like the actual Champions League, they wanted to like have it as 30, no, I think it was 48 teams, and then you go into like groups, and then it's like the top three from each group go into like a round of 16, which is in a table, and you get randomly picked to play like I don't know. But yeah, they're trying to make it a lot more how Americanized the mainly basketball, because I know you don't know a lot about basketball. For anyone out there, basketball works is there's two conferences, so West side, East Conference, West Conference. It's sort of split down because America's a massive place. Um, you play every single person. Um, you play every single person on your side of the conference, and then same for the other conference. And then at the end, wherever you are on the table, so 1 to 8, you then go into a tournament of first place will play eighth place in their conference, second place will play seventh place, third place will play sixth place, blah 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 blah. And then same for the other conference, and then you play each other in the tournament, and then you'll get to your conference final, the other conference final, then you play them, you win, you go to the NBA finals, which is like the big one. And then the other conference play, they go to NBA finals, big one, and then it's the winner of the West Conference versus the winner of the East Conference, and that's the NBA finals. And that's what Michael Jordan won 6 times. So yeah, it's
Well, so is like basketball not a league like the Premier League? Then it's more like a knockout
it
sort of thing.
is it is, and then the top 8 from each. So there's 2 leagues. So obviously you got the East Conference, the West Conference. So there's 2 leagues.
What? So
Then
if you were to
there's
win that like individual league of that side, would you win say the East whatever?
no, you just win the league, and then you go into a tournament bracket of then which you have to win the whole thing. So if like so LeBron plays for the LA Lakers, the LA Lakers come first, and then the Golden State Warriors come 8th. Yeah. They then go like so first to 8th place go into a tournament bracket, like one half of the tournament bracket. The first team, the team who came top of the league, faces the team who comes bottom of like who comes 8th in the league. They play each other, winner moves on, and then it's the same thing. So kind of like how the World Cup, like round of 16 works, just it's with 8 teams on each side. So you
Oh,
play a
okay.
league and then you go into a tournament. That's how it works.
I,
I,
feel like-
I would love to see that in like the Premier League.
I
It's just
still
like
I don't
you don't get
understand it,
anything
but
for coming first realistically. Like you can become 8th and you can still win the entire tournament. It's just very unlikely. Like normally the teams that come like top 3 from each conference are the ones that are likely to win it. Ooh,
this has been a very long first half. I don't know if it's just because we've been talking quite a lot, but this has been a very long first half.
yeah, it feels like that. We had a big yeah, but what are your thoughts on how the first half went? Chelsea are leading 1-0.
Honestly, it's hard to
Aggregate.
say. Like Atletico had a lot of like chances, but they just haven't really found their like the guy they want to put the ball in the back of the net with. Like their final delivery's been
Yeah,
good. They struggle to find their like Suarez and Felix, whereas Chelsea, honestly, they've been both been very similar. It just so happens that Chelsea had that one chance that found one. And you could argue like Oblak has to do better, but yeah, I feel like I've got a big
yeah, I
job
know
here.
what you
They're
mean.
still only I say only they do need to score 2 goals, which isn't like undoable. Like all they've got to do is score 2 more, don't concede, and they go through. But as we know, Tuchel they've only ever conceded 2 goals since he's been in charge, so it's a very big ask.
Yeah, he doesn't concede. Doesn't like to concede, which is crazy because
Oh,
I know my laptop is. Ooh, boom.
Oh, Billie Eilish just dyed her blonde. Wow. You're still frozen.
I know. I can tell.
I need you.
I'm back. Come on. Oh.
Take it out west. Stab it out. Bullet, take it. Right, I want to go get a drink. I'll give you some time to sort your stream out.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot to stop the timer. I'm an idiot. You can tell it's been a while since I streamed. Alright, Jared has left the chat. We're going to have to invite him back. Oh, what's going on? Oh, you're back. But there's apparently 3 of us now.
Yeah. Wait, is there 3 of us on stream?
Yeah.
Can I just?
Can I just kick this one?
Yeah, probably.
There we go.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. Zoom crash, which is nice.
But, hold on,
Oh.
we've switched sides. You're now on the right hand side. I'll move you.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what, guys? You're gonna have to deal with this for now. We ain't I actually crashed because I was trying to upload my COVID results. So
Oh, hold on. Let me do some technical difficulties here. Smooth this across. Boom. No, it says that I'm Jared and your Will, but
oh well, it doesn't matter. I think we were meant to do this tomorrow, but too late.
But one thing that I did see Mark Goldbridge touch on earlier today is he made a video on his channel saying, "Are Man City ruining football?"
Yes and no. Yes and no. One, because yes, because obviously the money they have is insane, and obviously they can't get the team they have without money. Like, but then no, because they are still playing incredible football and better football than anyone in the league and maybe anyone in the world. So yes, because they are ruining football in a way of they have too much more money than any other club, and they're using that very wisely and getting the players that they need to become the biggest and best club in the world. But then they're not ruining football because they are still playing the best football that I've probably ever seen play, like in the past couple of years. So yeah, yes and no to an extent.
For me, the main reason why they're ruining football isn't because they just spent endless money, although that is a big part of it. It's because, like, the days are gone of, like, you know, it's been so long since we've had, like, a last match day title race, where, like, the last game of the season, like, decides who wins the title. Now, for the last, like, most of this decade, to be honest, it's just been, like, halfway through, you could make a big stab of who's going to win the league. And then, like, toward like 3/4 of the way through, you just know who's gonna win it, and I think that's what makes it boring because you just like I've said this before. Like when you look at the league now, you just look at second to 20th because there's always just that one team who just lights out better than anyone else, and you just know they're gonna win the league, which is just boring. Like as a Tottenham fan, I support a club which realistically is never gonna really challenge for a title, and at this day and age, like so I want to just see like entertaining, just like stuff to do with football, but because Man City just sit on their perch, dominate everything, it's just boring. Like yes, like the whole like football's turned into more of a business now than a game. So like you'll find a lot more companies take over clubs. Like obviously we saw the Newcastle could have potentially got takeover. So obviously I wouldn't complain if I was a Man City fan. You'd obviously want to have that success, but like it's just boring. Like you've lost that whole like for me there was nothing better than like a last match day, like whoever won, like you know, like the whole Aguero, that whole situation. Like when Man United beat, I can't remember who they beat. I think it was Sunderland or something. They thought they won the league, and then the last minute, Aguero scores that goal, and you could tell everyone in Old Trafford, even though they've just won, they're all gutted. You just don't find that anymore because it's just the league's already decided.
Yeah, I want to go back to what you said about being entertained as a fan, and I was having this conversation with someone else the other day. Of as a football fan, obviously you want to be entertained, but I don't give a shit if you watch Manchester United and we get pelted.
I want to make it clear.
I don't care.
I'm not
Even
saying
from,
that.
like,
I'm not saying as a neutral. I'm saying that Man City are bad because they're boring. Because I know the whole argument.
no, I get very entertained watching Man City play football.
No, yeah,
Like,
I'm not. Well,
like,
let me rephrase. I'm
there are
not
two
bored.
teams in the league which I get very entertained watching, and that's Man City and Leeds.
I'm not bored in the way
Like,
they play. I'm bored just how much they dominate. Like I'm not saying they're bad
I
because
love that though. Like, yeah, I feel like it's what you want in a fan, but also the fact of when you play Sunday League or when I watch my brother play occasionally, of I never go to the games to be entertained. I go to see a team win, and I don't care how they win. I don't care what they do to win. They could get battered for 89 minutes and score in the 90th. I don't care as long as they win. And when I take that analogy of on a smaller level of Sunday League and Saturday and stuff like that, and then I put it onto the big scale of the Premier League of just because there are millions watching you guys play is you don't play to entertain people. Obviously, on occasions like when you look at Ronaldinho and Neymar and these skillers, and obviously they're doing it to entertain us, like that's incredible, and that they go down in history for that reason. But for me, as a fan and just a football fan in general, is if I'm supporting a team, I don't care how boring the game is as long as we win. Like, and even if I was to watch Champions League final last year, Bayern Munich versus PSG, very boring game. One of the most boring games we had that entire year. But I wanted Bayern Munich to win. So I was still very entertained when Bayern scored and Bayern won the game. It was a very boring game. But I'm still entertained in a way of it's not close and it's not a close game, but I pick a team, and if that team wins, I'm happy and I'm entertained and I'm satisfied as a football fan. And when you put into like leagues of you want the league to be as close as possible, I just don't think I think we get to a point in every season when it stops becoming that because like back in the day, you never expect Man United to lose to Sheffield United or any of these low teams, and now they do. And whether you have Man City who don't do that, and that's the difference. If Man United won these or what you say are easy games, we would still have a title challenge right now. But because they don't, that's the fault. So it's not Pep Guardiola's fault. It's not the Man City's team's fault. It's not the Man City's board fault. They're doing everything right. They're winning games. It's actually the teams below them which you got to look at of should Liverpool realistically be losing 6 games at home? No, they should not have realistically lost any of them, maybe one or two. And they could be in a title race right now. Manchester United could be in a title race right now. Chelsea could be in a title race right now. Tottenham could be in a title race right now. Everton could probably be in a title race right now. So Man City are just showing their dominance. Obviously, they've got the best players and they have money. Yes, I'm not saying they don't, but they are winning in great fashion, playing very entertaining and good and dominating football. And the other teams are not doing that, and that's why they are so behind. It's not because of City's excellence, because in my opinion, City played better football last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
And they had better teams in the past. Just these other teams are not doing as well as
There's
them
not
or
as
as
much
well as they
competition
could
that they
to
like.
win. Yeah, and that you don't look at City for that. You don't go to Man City and be like, I hope you lose. Like you don't go be City of like they're gonna lose today because you expect that dominance for them and you expect them to win. But you got to look at the teams below them and be like, why aren't you winning these easy games? Like that's the reason. And whether that's they need to make a new signing or they need to spend more money like Man City's done, then that's down to the board and the manager, not down to the fans and not down to anyone else. It's not down to players. The players don't get a say. It's down to the board, and Man City's board of directors and Pep Guardiola must have a great great partnership. I mean, because whatever Pep says, that manager does. And even when you look at Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, he played very entertaining football. Barcelona dominated that league alongside Real Madrid. It probably wasn't entertaining for all of the fans that were below probably fourth and every single team under that, but for a Barcelona fan, very entertaining to watch, very fun to watch. And you choose your team at the end of the day, and if your team doesn't provide entertaining football, then don't expect it from any other team in the league because they're not there to satisfy you. They're there to satisfy themselves. So yeah, that's the way I see it.
The one thing that annoys me, especially, it's become a lot more like evident recently, is that like the media always portray like the most recent champions as the best team ever, because like you look at the Man City Centurion team, best team ever, but I can admit like that argument's a lot like more valid because they on paper are the best team ever, but the Man City team after that won it. Oh, best team ever, best team ever. The Liverpool team, best Premier League team ever seen. Now this year, best Premier League team ever seen. But it's just like
I
they're
think it
just not.
depends on the
It's
pundit. I think it very depends on the pundit. Like Jamie Carragher, for example, when obviously Liverpool done, like, there's no doubt that that Liverpool team we saw last year, as much as I hate to say it, one of the best teams ever to win a Premier League. In my opinion, the best ever team to win the Premier League is 1999 treble team. Like,
I don't think that Liverpool
99
team's
treble
top
team.
5. They're not top 5 in my opinion. Because in
I
top
think they are.
in top 5
They are so dominant last year.
the Man United treble. You got Arsenal Invincibles. You got the Chelsea side in like what 2003 or 2004. You got the
2003,
Centurions.
2004.
Yeah, you got the Centurions, and then I guess you. I guess you probably could in Premier League years. You probably would put Liverpool in there, but yeah, those four.
You look like
Those four, I think are
they
much better.
they made a couple of faults, and obviously they do the invincible. But it was such a dominating display, and I feel like the reason why that Liverpool team now is not going to get the recognition it deserves is because how bad they've played this season. Like
Yeah,
we've seen, like obviously we talked about Liverpool being bad champions, and I don't think we're going to go back into that. And we shouldn't really go back into that. But when you don't play well the next season, your previous season, as much as it shouldn't be affected at all, it is affected. And when you look at the Man United Invincibles, the next season they had in 2000, 2001 was still a very good season for them. So yeah, this I again, like we go back to the entertainment thing of back in 1999 of no matter who you were entertained watching that Manchester United team.
yeah,
And like when you look at teams like people that support Burnley or Newcastle who are pretty much watch football for entertainment purposes now, you're never gonna get that because no player here today watching it like when watching a game, they are thinking, oh yeah, I want to go home, I want to entertain millions across the globe. They're like, no, I just want to win. And they're like that's the mentality of players. So no fan should really expect it, because you wouldn't expect it you wouldn't expect like to be entertained when going to watch your Sunday league, but don't expect to be entertained because they are just 10 times, 20 times better footballers. Like, at the end of the day, football is a game of you just have to win no matter how you do it. Like Jose Mourinho is one of the most boring managers to watch. He sits back for 60 plus minutes of each game and then attacks. And he goes down as one of the greats of the world. So people need to stop watching football for entertainment and start watching it for the purpose of the game, which is for one team to win. And no matter how they do it. Like, that's the whole purpose of football.
Right, so there's one more topic I want to gloss over because this is a more like podcast sort of edition. I've want to talk about this because I have a very strong opinion towards it. There's been a lot of talk recently around EA. Now, if you haven't heard the story, basically, this has been going on for like 5+ years, but it's been like very highly like brought out now. So essentially, allegedly, some EA employees have been selling icon moments on this sort of FIFA black market where you could buy, say, 3 icon moments of your choice for like $1,500 or like €1,500 or something. So, the main controversy behind this was because EA have been famously banning people who are just innocently trading between accounts because it apparently is against their guidelines. But then it's very hypocritical because they are now selling their own cards on this sort of black market. Now, I've seen a lot of YouTubers make videos on this. I know Nepenthez made a video on it. And then I'm going to be talking quite a long time.
Can I just say one thing about the trading quickly?
Yeah.
Used to be able to trade in FIFA. That was an ability you could do. I could trade I think it is 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Like, that's why pink slips were so big back in the day, because it was so easy to trade off. I could give my pink Gareth Bale to you, and you could give me your orange Ronaldo, for example, and we could just trade. So it used to be an option in FIFA where you can just trade with the other person for free, like no illegal thing. It was part of the game where you can just trade, and that's why pink slips was so big, and that's why you see KSI, Rotashaw, Mini Minter, and all of these other guys. Back in the day, that's why pink slips was so big, because it was so easy to trade. And now, since they've done this, like, you know so much more about this. I'm going to let you talk for most of this part of, you take away something, make it illegal, and then do what you've previously done. Like, I'm going to let you talk about it, because I don't know a heck of a lot about it.
So like I said, like, there's this whole black market around icon moments. Like, because I know you don't play a lot of FIFA nowadays. I still do watch quite a few FIFA content creators like Manny, Nepenthez, and all these sort of people. Now, like, I know you know what icon moments are, but for those of you who don't know, they are essentially the best. Well, not on paper the best, but they are, from an outside point of view, the best cards in the game. Like, they're the rarest, most expensive, most desirable. Like, take Prime Moments R9, for example. No one in their, like, obviously, like, this card is extinct. You cannot buy it on the market. So if it was to be on the market, it'd sell 15 million coins. Now because this card is virtually impossible to pack, no one's ever going to pack this. Sure, you'll get that one person who gets apocalyptically lucky, opens a 7.5k pack and packs him. Yeah, that's fine. But for 99% of the fan base, no one's ever going to have this card, because even if he was in the market, no one's going to have 15 million coins to buy him unless you're a content creator like Bateson or Manny who has infinite money. But this has created EA to be very hypocritical, and they now know that because we have created this system where certain players are impossible to get. We can now make even more money out of this now, because we can trick people into paying us real money, not even FIFA points. Like, they are directly paying us real money for these cards. Now it's very sad to see. Now there will, like, because this whole thing's been raised a lot recently, they did come out and say that at the end of the day it is just like they say it's just a dodgy employee who's exploiting accounts. But there's another aspect of this that I want to talk about, but you know how FIFA esports is a very like controversial topic about like what's his name? Is it Kurt, that pro who
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So he used to be one of the he's go down as one of, he goes down as one of the best.
He's an OG
Yeah,
FIFA esports player. Like he's one of the OG blah blah. He's still one of the best in the world. He's not the best. He has been the best in the world for a while, but he was like if like when you go like FIFA, like I watched a lot of like esports when it came to FIFA, especially a couple of years ago. But from like FIFA 12 to maybe FIFA 17, 16, 17, this guy was the best like out of everyone. He was always number one. So yeah,
yeah.
that's who Kurt is.
So essentially, Kurt being very honest and like very strong towards his opinion, he started calling out EA about how like poor their company was in general and just sort of stuff about that. Now, in return, EA literally just banned him from anything. They banned him from taking part in any esports events. I think they banned his FIFA account. They like took down any sort of video he made on YouTube about it. So yeah, like EA don't like people talking about them being wrong. Now, there's this tweet, or not a tweet. There's these quotes I have up here from EA, which they said whilst being interviewed by the Mirror. So not some just general content creator. This was to the press. This is to some big like this is like I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but this is literally not just like towards your casual person. This is a very like I don't know where I'm going with this. So basically, they've said FIFA Ultimate Team is a multi-faced. FIFA Ultimate Team is a game of skill, and it's important to note that you can acquire all items in the game without ever spending money, with purchases being entirely optional. Now that right there is complete bullshit, because on paper, yes, you can acquire all items in the game without spending money, but anyone who's ever played FIFA knows that you can't. Like, take that Pro Moment R9, for example. It is literally impossible to obtain that card without packing him, without spending money. Because even
I
if you...
think I could talk about a little bit of like I'm like when I was playing FIFA, especially in FIFA 20, I was really good. Like I was actually very good at the game to the point of where I'm getting foot champs. I'm going pretty high in foot champs. The problem I had, and you just said it right there, of I wasn't allowed to spend money on the game. I wouldn't spend money on the game. And that put me at a disadvantage because everyone knows that the game is, especially Ultimate Team, it's a very pay to win game. And that's why these esports play, like hashtag Harry says it himself, he pays 3 to 4 grand at the start of the game in order to get his team ready for November tournaments. Like it's just unfair when you have Tex, like when Tex broke out, like Tex, who's the best FIFA player in the world right now, probably. When he broke out as 16-year-old, like he was earning 50K, but he was probably putting most of that back into the
Yeah,
game in order to
yeah.
stay at the top. But it's very bad. And when you look at people like Bates and Manny, of these guys are having like they're probably putting hundreds of thousands into this game for
Yeah,
just
definitely.
content, like, and they don't even make it into tournaments or anything like that because they aren't good enough. So you have to be like a certain level of how you are, but then also have a certain amount of numbers in your bank account in order to be one of the best at FIFA.
Now, like, one thing that really annoys me is that EA have the audacity to say that, especially here, it is important to note that you can acquire all items in the game without ever spending money. That really annoys me that they have the audacity to say that. Because, like I mentioned earlier, on paper it is possible to buy any player. But let's say, for instance, that I buy the game today, and I think I want to use Prime Moments Maldini, Prime Moments Hullet, and Prime Moments R9. Now, not
And you
only...
don't have to say that. You can literally just say like even certain team of the season's coming up. Okay, team of the season are coming up in a couple of months. I guarantee 99% of players won't get someone over the rating of 95.
Yeah.
Like the majority, like probably 85, 90% of players who just play the game, or I guarantee 100% of casual fans or casual players will not get a person over, like, they will not get over a player over the rating of 97.
Yeah. So
Like,
so
it's,
so let's say I want to buy those three players I just mentioned: Maldini, Hullet, and R9, arguably the best player in their like respective positions. Now, to get the amount of like, so let's just say, for example, by some miracle, they all were actually on the market and not extinct. That is 45 million coins worth of players, which for that average player, you will not. The average player won't ever see more than 5 million coins on their account, let alone 45 million. So it is virtually impossible for anyone to get that amount of coins, even if you spend 10 hours a day on the game, like a player like the Penfez, because he has played FIFA more than anyone I know about, and he wouldn't even dream of getting one of those players. And not only is that bad, you can't even get them. So even if you somehow did have the amount of money to buy the cards, you can't because they're all extinct. Now, another problem is, because there's everyone wants these cards, if somehow an R9 appears on the market, not only are you up against the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even, as EA say, 40 million players, not only are you up against them to snipe this card, you're also up against these bots that people have on PCs trying to snipe him. So,
yeah, the bots are the ones.
so to say that every single card is available to everyone is just lies. Because are there 40 million R9s to go? I know, like, not everyone's supposed to have the same card, but there is not even enough R9s on the market for one person to have this card, let alone every single player who plays the game. Like, the whole like Ultimate Team in general is such an outdated idea. Like, it has not been changed in principle for like 10 plus years. Like, I know Manny says it a lot. Like, he shouldn't, like, he hates having to wait to buy cards, because obviously with his MMT series, he wants to try out different cards every episode for his like viewers to watch. Now, he always complains that he can't buy the cards like Hullet R9 because they're just not on the market. So, like, he spends all that money and he still can't buy them because they're extinct. Now, like,
and at the end of the day, it means absolutely nothing.
yeah, like,
I think that's the worst part about FIFA.
Yeah, that's
like,
also what's bad about this whole black market thing. You're paying 15 1,500 euros in real money for a virtual item that means nothing in a year's time. Like, next year that will be utterly worthless. So, like, it really annoys me, EA, because they just...
let's break this down a little bit more, because I feel like if somehow any EA employee sees this, I like, there are multiple videos done attacking EA, and I think one of the ones that come to mind is a video that JCC
I'm not watching it about. I'll watch that as well.
Player, and it's all about FIFA points, and FIFA points is the in-game currency that you pay with real money. So I could pay £8, I get £8 GDP, I believe that's our currency.
Yeah.
For 12,000 FIFA points, I can then use those FIFA points to open packs to essentially gamble that I will get a player worth my money back. The chance of that happening is less than 5%, maybe even less than that. And we've seen countries like Belgium now ban FIFA points, and even, like, I believe, like, for me, it's not the fact that I'm not going to get someone. It's the mental effect that it has when you spend £80 and get nothing back. Like, I like, there's an amazing video on JCC's channel. I'll 100% go recommend it, of his friend of just buying FIFA points, nothing, buying FIFA points, getting nothing, and just racking up hundreds and thousands of pounds in his mum's bank account, because he was just so addicted to opening packs. Because packs are very addictive to opening.
Yeah.
I remember,
I love opening packs.
I would save up packs for like a weekend, but then a sick inform would come in. I'll be like, I want to try and get this inform. I would open like a couple packs, and then all of a sudden, all of my packs are gone because I've opened too many. So packs are very addictive in the game, and when you open, like, if you have 100, like, Will, you know this. I've seen you with, like, you would have like 250K in your account, and next thing you know, you spend it all on packs
Yeah.
when you don't mean to. So packs are like, FIFA points is a very bad thing in the game, and if you're watching, don't never buy FIFA points ever. You like invest your £80 somewhere else, just not in a game. Like, it's one of the biggest ways you will lose money, because you will have feelings of success for even if you pack something, you get feelings of success of what, 9 months,
Yeah.
because that's what FIFA is like.
I'd
FIFA's
argue that
9 months
even if you
feelings.
did pack something good, it's still a waste of money because, like I mentioned earlier, within a few months it means nothing. Like if you take
Yeah, yeah.
Fortnite for example, say you spend £7.99 or however how much it is for 1,000 V-Bucks and buy a skin, even though skins aren't arguably that like valuable to have, like you'll still have that skin for the rest of however long you play the game for. So you're essentially, your money's never essentially going to waste because you'll always have that skin. But if you spent that same amount of
Yeah.
money on FIFA packs, and even if you did pack someone good, not only is he like, if you packed Messi today, for example, he is worth nothing. Like I think the base gold card for Messi is only worth about 200K, which for like
I might have to go back on FIFA. I get myself a cheeky
it's what I
Messi.
mean. Like the whole like number one, it doesn't mean anything in a couple months anyway. So even if you did pack something good, it means nothing. And number two,
Hmm.
like unless you pack like like a very very good icon or like Ronaldo, you are most likely not going to, because by now most people's teams, if you packed Messi right now, he wouldn't get in your team. Because one thing that
Yeah.
also has annoyed me is the progression of people's teams seems to get quicker and quicker and better every single year. Like in FIFA,
I mean, yeah, no. Oh, well, I could talk about it so well. So, like, I could talk about this with you and Josh, and Josh is another one of our mates.
Mhm.
Of you and Josh both got FIFA on the day it came out. Day
Yeah.
it came out. I then got FIFA on the Monday. It came out on a Thursday. I got on Monday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they got it 4 days in advance of me. You start off with a completely bronze team with one goal player, one non-red goal player. By time I got the game, both of Will and Josh had completely gold rare players,
Yeah.
and
Not even that.
like,
We had very
it
good
was
players as
stupid of
well.
how far behind I was, considering I got the game 4 days after it came out. Like, it was stupid, and I eventually, my team would get on the same level as them, but I had to put in so many extra hours, and I'm lucky enough that I was good enough to the game where I was just winning and winning and winning. But it got to a point, like, I stopped playing FIFA after a month
Yeah.
of when it came out. I haven't played FIFA since October, and I'm so glad I haven't. But I put in 50 quid. I put 50 quid in to play the game for a month. Then I don't enjoy the game, and no matter what they do, I can't enjoy the game. One, because of how good players are now, and despite my ability, players are just so good now. Also, I'm not stupid enough to put money into a game which I get nothing back from it in the long term. Like, we've both spent, you probably spent a lot more, but
Yeah.
we've definitely spent between like probably under £100 on Fortnite, for
Yeah.
example, and we definitely, like, our lockers are full of skins. We don't play anymore, but our lockers are fully full of skins, which we know that if we get bored one day and we go back on Fortnite, we have some skins
Yeah.
there, and there's still
They
stuff
still have
there. And
value.
I never regret buying stuff from Fortnite, because I just know, like, it was a good time, it was a nice time. But if I brought FIFA points, I'd be like, by the time the next FIFA comes out, I'll be like, I've just spent 80 quid for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say now. What was I gonna say? Oh, my mind's gone blank. I had a very good point I wanted to say, and I've completely forgotten. Oh yeah, so
Oh no.
yeah, so going back to like how quickly people's teams develop, I think like obviously like over the past like 3 years since FIFA 19, every single year I've quit the game earlier and earlier. Because FIFA 19, I played the entire game
Same.
cycle. I played from the release date to the end of team of the season. FIFA 20, I played the game
Same.
on the release, and then I stopped at around just after team of the year, because as most FIFA players know, after team of the year the game's dead. The market's at an all-time low. Playing the game doesn't really mean
Look,
anything.
as soon as the market crashes, the game dies.
Yeah, and then
that normally happens around Team of the Year.
and then this year I didn't even make it to December. I quit the game late November. I played a little bit in December because I knew you could do icon swaps, but like there's so many different ways to earn coins now. Like the whole new system they added this year, where if you play your 5 qualifying games and then you get a sum of coins. Like if you won, say 4 out of 5, you got like 100k. Now having 100k at the start can just like make your team twice as good. So there's that. There's also SBCs that get released every single day near enough. There's all these objective players. There's Div Rivals Awards, Foot Champs Awards. So there's so many different ways to improve your team. And then one thing that they've done this year, which I think is not bad, but it's like had a bad effect, is that they've released these like so many icon like guaranteed packs, where like you submit an 83, 85 squad and you get a baby icon. Like I can guarantee now, if you went into a game, no matter what division you're in, that guy will have at least 1 or 2 icons in your team. Now, if someone said that 3 years ago, that would have been like, what? Because having an icon back then actually meant something. Now, if you don't have an icon in your team, you're missing out. Because there's no value in having icons anymore. Like, obviously, if you have like the best ones, there is. But like, everyone's team gets too good too quickly, which is so sad to see. Like, another thing I want to say in regards to like not playing the game, like don't underestimate how much not playing the game like does, because if there's anyone watching this now who like plays Foot Champs week in week out, I don't know how you do that, and you constantly get angry at the game, you moan at it, saying, "Oh, this game's so bad." Just don't play it. This happened to me. I was like, I think it was FIFA 20. I played weekend league every weekend, and it killed my like. I was so like, I wouldn't say depressed, but I was just constantly in a bad mood because I remember that loss I had to not get gold free or something, and I stopped playing the game, and it had it just improved my mental health so much because I just didn't have to worry about like not like that one game where I conceded the last minute goal.
You have to stay focused 100% of the time in a FIFA game, and also like we loved FIFA, like our whole group loved FIFA. Like I remember we would play Foot Champs. The Monday conversation was, what do you get in Foot Champs? And then we all wait till Thursday. We gather in a circle in the canteen and we all open our rewards together. And that's where, like, so we love this game. And we, like, for the past couple of years, we've bought it every single year. I actually, I tried not buying it.
Yeah, same. But I just caught I caught into the loophole.
I was just like, it felt weird not buying it. And I'm definitely not buying FIFA again unless I get like some sort of feeling of that this game is actually going to be good. Like, and even the new game modes they add of like Volta, Volta Club.
Volta. Terrible.
We played it once. It's okay, but it's not what we want. And the game modes we want improve. They don't improve. And they are so much more driven by how many numbers, how like the number side of what FIFA generates. For those who don't know, EA is a multi-billionaire company. A third of their revenue each year come from Ultimate Team alone, not FIFA.
That is
the game mode.
That is
Ultimate
unreal.
Team. And you gotta remember,
think about how many games they own.
It's not just FIFA. It's EA.
Like
and
EA owns so many games.
Comes from one game mode. And you think I played, like, I was a massive gamer. I've played UFC, I've played NBA, I played NHL, I played NFL, I played all of these other EA games. They are incredible. But when it comes to FIFA, it's one of the worst games I've ever played, and I hope I don't have to play it again.
It's such a shame because I don't buy FIFA because I love like the brand FIFA. I like FIFA because I just want to play a football game where I can buy my own players, like watch my team going from A to B. I want to like build my own team, but not in a sense of like Football Manager, because like, I want to have like physical coins. I want to come up against actual other people in the real world. But Like,
Yeah.
there's so much wasted potential. I feel like in FIFA because they know that there's other than Pez who get nowhere close. They know that they're just above everyone else, so they don't have to do anything really to like stand out. So they know they can get away with stuff like having ridiculous prices for FIFA points because they know people will pay it. But they could charge £100 for the initial game and people would still buy it. I wouldn't, but they people would still buy it because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I want to play FIFA game. There's no other options, but I'll buy it anyway because if I don't buy it, I might miss out on this SBC that comes out or something. So they know the position they're in EA, and I hate the way I just hate everything about that. There's not one aspect of EA which I like. Everything about it is just. I think
Yeah.
they've been voted the most hated company in the US for the last 10 years. Not like hated game company,
They are.
just in general. Like I've used their direct help communication multiple times. But never use it. It is the most useless thing because I remember on the Foot Champs games, I needed one more win to get to gold 3, which is a rank, and I had one game left. I was winning in that game, and then at the last minute, I was loading out of the game, and my game it kicked me off. Like it said I disconnected, and it gave me the loss.
Yeah, the servers are awful
Yeah.
as well.
So I did it.
Servers
I
are
test my connection. It was absolutely nothing wrong on my end. So it was like hands down on EA's end why I disconnected. So I contacted their help saying I disconnected from your servers when I was winning. I checked it on my end. There was nothing wrong with me. Like you've essentially booted me off the game. Could I get some compensation? Could I get the extra win or something like that? They just didn't do anything. Basically, they just said thank you for your questions, but I can't remember exactly what they said. This was a while ago. They just didn't. They just like did not do anything to help. Basically, so like
Yeah.
like they just don't like rely on EA because like you're more likely to get hacked than them to actually help you. Because I remember Rotor Shaw got hacked when people literally just went on
Oh,
EA live chat.
He hacked.
Well, he's gone. But I was saying, Rotor Shaw, 2 people basically went into EA live chat, said, "Hello, I'm Rotor Shaw. I need to change my account details," and they did, and they got full access to his account. So it looks like I'm going to have to. No, the meeting has got too long. Let's sort this out.
Hello.
Hello.
I am so confused. It just came up with your Zoom call has finished.
I think we just ran out of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we will talk about EA. You're still streaming, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
Okay.
we kind of gone very far off the game here, but we missed out on the podcast.
Yeah. So, but like, the nothing with like this game is very just back and forth.
Yeah, there's
Realistically, there's no
nothing's
big
happened since
chance.
the goal. You haven't missed out
Yeah.
on anything.
Did you watch esports like FIFA esports?
No, I've never watched it in my life. I think I've watched one esports game, and I think it was Gorilla against Tex or Tex against like the second best. I don't know. I watched that. I don't watch their live events on Twitch or anything because
Yeah. Okay. So FIFA 2019. Yeah, FIFA 19. Well, mainly FIFA 20 and a little bit 21 when I started playing. I was heavily into the esports side, mainly because of hashtag United, because I was a big fan of them, but also because of Hex and FaZe Clan and the esports. And at the time, esports was this new thriving thing. It was like Fortnite World Cup was obviously
Yeah.
a thing, and that was massive for esports. So I was very involved and into esports, and I look at the players there, and I look at Hex is obviously a big one. Hashtag Harry you may recognize. Faye, like there's a couple of Fays, but yeah, there's a big names, Kurt who we mentioned earlier. But yeah, and I look at it like the esports players now, and I'm just like, none of you guys are even good. Like, you're good, but none of you guys like there's no characters, there's no things like you have no expressions, you're not happy, and the way they even do esports now is like because of they can't meet and do like big events like how they used to because of COVID of everything's online and they show like I don't care about who's playing in Oceania or who's good at FIFA in Oceania. I just want to see the biggest and the best people play and you just don't see that. And even with these guys, like when Tex is saying like Tex is the best player and has been for the past 3-4 years since he came onto the scene. When he goes, anyone can score at any point with any player because of how bad the gameplay is. You know, like when you're number one FIFA player, the one who's got the biggest say out of all the players that play FIFA, Tex is the one with the biggest say. When he goes, your gameplay is not good. You know there is a problem with your game,
Yeah.
and EA just don't change it.
I think I just want to put out there that I'm a massive fan of esports. Like, I genuinely think esports is like the next big thing in like not even just gaming, but like I can see esports being bigger than the Olympics in like maybe 20 years time because of the way the world's
I
going right
really
now.
don't know
I
because
I, I think it is because
obviously esports very depends on the game. And when you think of
yeah,
after the Fortnite World Cup,
that's the point I wanted to bring out. Like when the Fortnite
yeah,
World Cup came out, I had so much fun watching that because I remember there was like the solos, the duos. I had so much fun watching that because you had like all the players like Mongrel, you had Benji Fishy, you had Booga obviously who won it. Like Clicks, you had all these big pros that everyone loved and like all that had their own fan bases. And it was so good watching them play against each other. So with FIFA, I don't know if it's like a problem directly towards EA, but FIFA is such a boring game to watch. Like watching, because obviously, because
Yeah,
FIFA,
I watched it mainly to learn.
yeah,
I think that's why I actually got very good because I would watch every single text video and study on how he plays. I use his tactics. Like the reason why I was pretty good at FIFA is because I was just learning from the best. And when we play Fortnite and Fortnite World Cup, it's so much more entertaining to watch when you see people tunnel, you're seeing people box in, you're seeing these 1v1s. It's so much more entertaining, and you can't like you don't get that
yeah,
with a football game.
and I think, like I said, I don't think it's to do with EA. I think having a football game as an esport doesn't really do justice because you have only two. Because with Fortnite, you have 100 of the most famous best players, and watching two of them come up against each other, it's just so exciting because like, oh, who's gonna win? But with FIFA, you only got two people who are just gonna be dead silent throughout the whole thing because they're fully focused,
Yeah,
and it's just like watching terrible, boring gameplay. Like I said, it's not probably not an issue to do with EA because obviously I'm not a professional programmer. I don't know how hard it is to program a football game, but it's like we can all agree like watching the actual gameplay itself is not fun at all. Like when you're watching content creators, like you want to watch all the menu stuff. Like you want to watch them complete that SBC. You want to watch them open all the packs. You want to watch them like redeem their rewards. But whenever there's the gameplay part, you just want to skip forward because I don't want to watch this. Maybe with I know when I
I
watch
think.
MMT a
Oh,
lot.
actually, yeah,
Like
finish your point.
I watch MMT a lot. I do watch his gameplay because Manny does play the game to entertain. He doesn't because he even says himself like I could finish way higher in the weekend league if I just sweated out every game. But he plays very skillful. He plays just to entertain pretty much.
Yeah, I've seen him play. I've watched a couple of his videos. He just literally gets like 5-star skillers and
Yeah,
just goes for it.
but
I feel like oh, go on.
no, you can go. You can go. I'll finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you said about we just want to see the menus, the SBCs, and like stuff like that. And I feel like that's why Roach Shaw does so well on
Yeah,
FIFA
yeah,
still is because he literally just builds drafts and just skips to get like he'll build a draft, then quit in the first round and just build another draft because no
yeah,
one wants to see the gameplay. I just want to see him try and get a 197.
yeah,
Like it shouldn't be the most entertaining thing to watch, but it's a lot more entertaining than watching the gameplay. And there's so many things wrong. We could sit here for probably another couple hours and talk about what everything wrong with EA. But the biggest thing that I find is when I play games like Madden or UFC or NBA, I don't see anything wrong with them. Like they are honestly incredible games to play. Um, NBA is one of my favorite games to play. Like it just everything works about it. So when there's nothing wrong in your smaller games, but your
Oh, red
biggest
card
game,
here.
the one that
Red
gives
card. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think Savage just got sent off
that's
here.
cool.
I'm not sure what for, but that's gonna be a massive blow to. I've forgotten this game's even going on, to be honest. But Atletico are down to 10 men. But yeah, as you were.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like I look at all these smaller games. Like obviously they're not small; they're still big games. But I look at all these smaller games. I'm just like, you can perfect pretty much to perfection a small game, and everybody loves it. You don't hear complaints about any of these other games. But when it comes to your biggest game, why is it so much more about making money than it is for customer satisfaction? And when you go to start like any sort of business, no matter what it is, no matter what it is, no matter if you're going for the money or what, the first thing you focus on is how to satisfy customers, how to get the most customers. What we're seeing now with FIFA and just FIFA, Fortnite, like a lot of esports, and I'm going to link this to why I think esports isn't going to be the next big thing, is because these games are just dying. Like Fall Guys, look how quickly that rose
Yeah.
and fell because people were too sweaty and people were too good at the game to. They knew every single map. They knew like codes. They knew like the little cheats. And you try doing a Fall Guys Friday was a thing, and just like that got dead after 1 week because no one was entertained watching it. And not even many people even heard of it. So for me, just esports is going to be a big thing like in the future because all games dying. Like, look how many sick. Like, first of all, respect to everyone who's sick at a game because it's very hard and requires a lot of work and all of that. So I got respect for all of that. But look how many people we know that I couldn't name a new Fortnite esports player. I couldn't name one. I can name probably every single. I probably named the top 50 esports players in 2018 during the Fortnite World Cup. Now I probably couldn't name one. But
Yeah.
I don't know, is Boomer even the best anymore? Like I don't know if he even still plays. Like there's a reason why Ninja plays Valorant more because he doesn't enjoy the game of Fortnite. And Fortnite, like we're never going to see another Fortnite World Cup. If it is,
It won't be as
I
big.
think
It'll be
you'll
nowhere
be
near as big.
surprised. Yeah, I think you'll be surprised if they could fill out the stadium like they even did last year. Esports events, FIFA esports events, and like their streams like get like Tommy in it gets more views than that on a daily basis than what they get in a year.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's stupid, and there's no other big games of like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is obviously the biggest game of all time, and every single new game obviously goes big, and it gets big. But now look, like Warzone is pretty much dead. Like no one really playing Warzone. It's Among Us, and even Among Us, like Among Us is cool because it's
I,
so
I, I,
different,
I hate Among Us
and it's
personally. I've never understood why it has so much hype
yeah,
around it. Like I don't. I maybe because I've never really played it, and obviously for a person in my position, I
it's
can't
just
just
hard. It's hard
I
when
can't
we
just
didn't
get a
really
group
have
of
like
I can't get a group of 8 friends and just play because
yeah.
it's easy for streamers, but for me like it's so boring going into a lobby with 8 other people which I can't speak
We don't
to.
have a mic or
Yeah,
anything like that.
because
Yeah.
it just defeats the point of playing. Like,
But
I'll,
even that, like
yeah,
even that slowly dying out, and the only FIFA gameplay I watch is when the Sidemen play pro clubs, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
put it on in the background because I want to hear something funny.
yeah.
Like other than that, I don't watch FIFA at all. I don't enjoy watching that game, and it's so bad. I think we're actually going to slowly see a slow decline in FIFA, like
Yeah.
because no one's enjoying the gameplay. Everyone knows that the gameplay sucks. Esports is a fun to watch. Add anything to the game, and the stuff that we want to be added, like no one wants a new hairstyle in pro clubs. Like, no one wants that. We want to be able like, why can I not join a game late? Why if I lag out, why can I not reconnect to the same game? Like that's what I want like to have the ability to do among other things. And we just don't get that no matter how many big creators say it.
Again, it
I
just
think
goes back
that
to the
that
whole point about having wasted potential because pro clubs
yeah,
if like the FIFA community came together and like improved pro clubs, it'd probably be the best game mode of any game. Because even as bad as the gameplay is now, pro clubs is still such a fun game mode to play. Because if get a group of like 3 or 4 mates, just get on pro clubs, like it's probably the most fun you'll ever have playing a game. But like you said,
Yeah,
if you
we used to play pro clubs with a full 11.
yeah like it's
That's
like you said earlier about like if you lag out,
in
you
our
can't
school. We
join
used
back
to
in.
play like there would be like 7 of us versus another 7.
Yeah, because
and
we'll have
pretty
like
much
our
every
friend
single night
group against
each
another
other.
friend group, and it's so fun. But like no one loves FIFA anymore. Like no one like I don't know anyone. Obviously, we're older and it might have an impact because we're not as many people game. But like no one plays FIFA anymore. Like no one like it's such a
I think it's also because we were at the point of where we were like good enough to the point of where we would be like we were both in like Div 2. So like for anyone who doesn't play FIFA, there's this game called Division Rivals. You are ranked in division. So Div 1 to already Div 10, Div 1 being the best, Div 10 being the worst. Me and you were always Div 2, Div 3. That's pretty high.
that's like top
But
5%.
it's not you're not good enough to be up there with the pros, but you're not like
You're
you're
better
too
than the
good
average
to
player.
be with the average people. So you're in this bracket of you just win and lose, win and lose, win and lose, and you're not moving anywhere. Whereas if you're really bad, yes, all you can do is improve the play. And if you're in Div 1, you've got a sick enough team and you're probably going to be earning money
Yeah, like players
when
like
playing the game.
us,
But we were just in that
players like
gap.
us kind of hit that ceiling where like we couldn't physically like perform better in terms of like off like wins because our team just wasn't good enough. Like to we were at that weird level where to get better, well not better, but to like finish better in weekly league like and stuff like that, we had to spend like money in the game to improve our teams, which we both of us weren't willing to do. So we were just in that weird
Yeah.
stage where we just didn't move. Like we were just like you said, we'd win 2, lose 2, win 3, lose 3. Like you wouldn't move basically because a lot of the people you played were either just flat out better than you because of the stupid skill-based matchmaking, or players who were as good as you, if not worse, but just had better teams, so they'd beat you, which is one of the reasons why I just didn't like the game, because the amount of games I lost where I know I can tell from like the first 5 minutes how like I'm better than this opponent because like I know I understand the mechanics better, but I'd lose because he's got like informed Varane and I've got Davinson Sanchez. Like it's just better. Like, he always wins. So like we were just at that. Like it's the game's corrupt basically. Like it's pay to win. Yeah.
I remember like I didn't pay any money, but I got very lucky. I remember I got an inform Haaland, and one of the best cards I've ever used. Best card I've ever used, and he was just carrying like he scored over 300 goals for me, like 100 something games. So he was so good, and because I got very lucky, and obviously a lot of players don't get, but because I got very lucky, I was able to get to the point of where I was in like Div 2, but Haaland isn't a team of the year Ronaldo who who just is just 10 times better. I feel like just there's so much. Well, you said it before. There's so much wasted potential with EA, and like they don't listen to their customers. Like that's the problem. They don't listen to customers. They're too busy focused on the money, which makes sense as a business, but when you have the biggest game in the world, like they could definitely make a mix of both, and they make enough money through other ways of what they do, and even it's just bad in general. It's just very bad in general. Meanwhile,
the game's almost finished here. Well, 5 added minutes, but Atletico down to 10 men. They're 2-0 down in aggregate. They need to score 2 goals, which I can't see them doing. But one thing I do want to say is that one thing I've noticed over the last couple of years is that, like, you know how like every game has this like toxic community with like with FIFA, for example, you beat a guy, he'll message you after the game saying, "Oh, everyone's toxic basically." Like they'll shush you, they'll dab on you. I've realised that there's this like group of kids aged from like 9 to 12 that sort of float between games. That it's just this horrible, toxic, like just like generation. Because like with Fortnite, I remember like I used to play a lot of creative mode. Like I'd get into lobbies like wanted to 1v1 people, and 9 times out of 10, I was fighting against this like 9-year-old who was like constantly calling like me racial slurs and stuff like that. And then like they always say, "Oh, I'm so much better than you. You're dog water. You're like it's, like." And then like with it's even moved on to Minecraft now. Like there's so many like especially on TikTok, you have these people posting TikToks on about Minecraft about like when I played Minecraft like 8 years ago, I didn't care like how good I was. I just played it because I enjoyed it. Now I
Dude,
feel
you
like
just build something,
yeah,
bro. I used to copy like what Stampy was
yeah,
making in his
yeah.
world.
I feel like every game now like there's this like group of people that just pressure each other just to be good at the game. Like they make fun of each other if they're not
Yeah.
good. Like they would just like especially with Fortnite. Like Fortnite suffered from being so popular that everyone just wanted to be as better than everyone. Which like I just want to
Yeah.
put out there that I'm not against people who want to like spend more time on the game to get better. I respect that, but like I think toxic like game communities are like one of the main reasons why games die is because like
Yeah.
I want to like before I'd still love to play Fortnite right now. Like I know people like wouldn't like
It looked
would
like the storyline looks so
yeah
sick. That's what I love about Fortnite. Like,
What one thing
I
Epic
looked
Games
at the
does well,
season 6 trailer. The
yeah,
storyline looks so good.
yeah. I want to play the game. I want to play the game, like because I want to get involved in this whole storyline with like the 0 points. I don't know exactly what it is, but like all the live events. Like Epic Games is such a good gaming company, but
Yeah, yeah, they do
I
really
can't
well.
play
Like,
I can't play the game
Rocket League
because
is
of the
probably one of the
community.
biggest games out there right now
Yeah,
because you can't be toxic.
yeah.
You're a car and you go hit a ball around. But yeah, guy carry on for your Fortnite point.
But yeah, I want to play Fortnite now because to this day it's one of my favorite games. Like it's such a unique game, but because of how like this like it's I want if I get into a game I will just like it's like when I stopped playing I was like an above average player. Now I'm probably like below average because like I said everyone wants to be better than everyone else. Like oh 2-0 Chelsea and that's game over. Emerson. That's 3-0 in aggregate. That's game done.
We'll talk about a game in just a
Yeah.
second as that game because comes to an end. But yeah, I feel like this whole next generation of like you said, are like 12-year-olds and under. Like, well, I'm not saying it's 12-year-olds and under, but I'm just like kind of generalizing
Yeah.
here. Of I feel like I'm gonna feel like very sorry and bad. Like I have a 12-year-old brother, and I can already see like signs in him of like very toxic ways and stuff like that. So I think like as much as how good being competitive is, and I always strive for like people to be competitive. There's a difference between friendly competition and being competitive and just shitting on another kid. Like at the end of the day, you're both. It's like imagine going to the gym. Like I've been going to the gym recently. Imagine going to the gym and seeing a fat person or seeing someone who's overweight and then criticizing them for being
Yeah,
overweight when you're in the gym.
that's a very
It
good
makes
analogy to
no
look
sense.
towards it because like it's like
Yeah.
going to the gym and you're like say like there's this guy who's been going there for years and you just come starting to go and then he starts going like oh you're so bad like it's just this whole negative energy sort of thing and I think it's to do with like I think it's like not the generation below us but like the generation below us that sort of grew up with like more with like TikTok and stuff. Like they can just start an argument on TikTok so easily.
Like, no, like I want to be a content creator. I want to do punditry, and I want to grow my social media pages a lot. But if I didn't want to do that, I will 100% delete all my social media pages today. Like this phone. If like this has became a need in all of our lifestyles now. Like
it's impossible to live without it.
If you don't, you're weird. But I would actually love to not have this. But if I didn't have this, I couldn't contact Will, I couldn't contact friends, I couldn't contact my mom, I couldn't contact anyone. That's the problem. Like that's why I have to have this phone. But if not, I wouldn't mind living without a phone. I've, but I think the world is slowly becoming more and more of an abusive and no, like
Yes.
I'm just gonna say right now, later in the year, I'm starting up a podcast and a personal YouTube channel, and it's gonna be like, if you're a snowflake, just don't watch the channel because the podcast is gonna be called the Anti-Snowflake Podcast. So just don't watch the channel. But like, I don't want to live in a world like we'll talk about the game in just a second, I promise, guys. But I don't want to live in a world, where I can't say my opinion because I'm too worried that I'm
You're
going
gonna
to get
offend 3 people.
cancelled.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's so stupid.
So the
It's so
game
stupid.
has finished. It's 3-0 on aggregate to Chelsea, which, like,
Big win.
at
Big
the
win.
time of the draw, before Tuchel was appointed, you would have, a Chelsea fan, you would have bitten that your hand
You
off.
love that.
Yeah, but
No,
I'm
it's
disappointed for
incredible for Chelsea.
Atletico, to be honest. Like, they've got Suarez, who's probably one of the best strikers in the world right now in terms of like form, but toothless in both games. João Felix toothless in both games. Like, Atletico offer nothing.
And keeping 2 clean sheets against
Yeah.
a team who could score like a Atletico is
Yeah.
incredible.
It just shows that the best team in La Liga is overpowered by, like, what, I'd say probably the second best team in England right now. I'd say they're better than United personally, but
Yeah, right now, right now. Yeah, no, but like today's game, not much really happened. Obviously,
other
the red
than
card
I know there was 2
incident,
goals, but other than that, nothing. We missed nothing. We had like a lengthy conversation, but we didn't miss anything at all. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's like I don't think Chelsea are going to win Champions League, but this is definitely a boost for them, and it's going to be a boost for them for next year, knowing that they've just knocked out the champions of La Liga, or what it seems to be. So, that's massive boost for all of the Chelsea players. Thomas Tuchel, is back to the drawing board for Atletico Madrid, and we see like, do you know what the Bayern score is?
I think it was 2-0. No, 2-1. I saw Choupo-Moting scored. Who scored for Lazio?
What a career he's had, man. We should do a whole video on him. What a career
From
he's
Stoke
had.
to scoring in the Champions League semi-final for PSG, and then now you're playing for
I'm
Bayern.
pretty sure he's a player who's played the least amount of games and won the most amount of titles.
Yeah, it's so
He's
funny.
He's been at PSG and Bayern.
But yeah, I think that's going to be in the stream today.
Like,
is that?
Bayern go through everyone's expected. You can say this is, it's not upset, but it's not like, if you're betting, man, you probably would have bet on Atletico to win this round. I know, like, hats off to Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea. It's a good thing, and I don't like Chelsea. I hope they get knocked out in the next round.
Same. I hope they get absolutely annihilated by whoever.
Yeah, we'll come to the end. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 or 7:50 for AC Milan, Manchester United. You see me happy or back in sadness like you did last week. But yeah, no, it was a good one today. It was more podcasty because we were going to film a podcast today, but then we realized we had to do a live watch long and we wasn't going to film for 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think about EA, esports, Messi, Ronaldo, and everything like that. And see you again tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe. So yeah, see you guys